Bitcoiners are worried about a $5 wrench attack happening to them and somebody breaking into their house, taking their Bitcoin, mugging them on the street, stealing their sats. But in my opinion, there's something much more serious that we should be thinking about. And that is social engineering. And between conversations I've had with people, articles I've seen, videos I've watched, it seems like this is going to be a big problem for Bitcoiners for the next couple of years for sure. And whether it's technology, AI, I think the one thing that we can all agree on is that it's only going to get better and it's only going to get easier for criminals to take your Bitcoin. And why I see it as such a threat is because if you think about it from the perspective of a criminal, do you think that they would rather fly somewhere, drive somewhere, go to your house, have to worry about the alarm system, have to worry about the dog or whatever else you're keeping for security at your house? Or would it be easier for them to do from the comfort of their own house using something like social engineering? So this stuff it's running pretty rampant right now with exchanges, with wallets, with AI videos, AI calls. And again, it's only going to get worse. So I think that if you're a Bitcoiner out there watching this today, you should be thinking about this stuff a little bit more deeply, I think. And I'm going to give you 5 different things that you can do just to kind of beef up your digital security in a way. So the first one here is create yourself a fresh email. I'm going to bring up a spreadsheet here just so we get some visualization happening. So go to like ProtonMail, go to something like that. Create yourself a fresh, there we go. Create a fresh email account for Bitcoin because one of the main ways where people get phished or social engineered or hacked or whatever it may be, it's because they registered on all these different exchanges, all these different Bitcoin accounts. Maybe they bought some Bitcoin products and they use the email address that they use for all their stuff. And so when they see an email in their inbox, maybe it's 6 a.m, they're not fully awake. They click a link, boom. They're on the path to getting social engineered. And keep in mind that this isn't something that just happens like this, right? Like a lot of these social engineering techniques, they actually take a long time preference with this or a low time preference, and they could do it over weeks, months, years. So it's not like it's just going to be one day. I mean, it happens that way too, but they're getting pretty elaborate with their schemes here. So I would suggest getting yourself a fresh email account that you associate with all your different Bitcoin dealings. Again, whether that's register for an exchange, for an account somewhere, or buying products, or signing up for services online, newsletters, things like that. Get yourself a fresh email account for your Bitcoin stuff. And if you can, you should swap your other accounts, update your information to be your new fresh email address here. So number 2 here, this is going to sound kind of funny, but it's have a safe word. Because one thing that we've seen and we're going to see more and more of is AI now has the ability to basically take a picture and turn it into a video. And if you posted anything online for the last decade, somebody's going to be able to use your voice and essentially pretend to be you. So there's all these different schemes happening where they call somebody's parents or grandparents or whoever it is and pretend that they're, in trouble, kidnapped, in jail, whatever it is, and say, unless you send Bitcoin over, something's going to happen here or whatever, a bunch of different things. They're getting better and better at this stuff. And as technology and AI gets better, it's going to get harder and harder to differentiate between real and fake. So simply have a safe word for your family. Something like Larry Fink or Satoshi or something like that. I think most families actually have a safe word. I just don't think that they are real up to date with it or talk about it very often. So if you don't have one yet, I think it's a good idea to just kind of reach out to your immediate family members and say, if somebody contacts you about Bitcoin stuff or crypto or sending money and they're pretending to be me, just say, what's the safe word? And this is what it's going to be. Because the way that these criminals work is they know how to manipulate your feelings. So the first thing that they do is they get you very scared. So you're in a state of fear, you're in a state of panic. And then they either have somebody on their team or somebody on a different call or a different platform almost come to you as like the savior there. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can they're doing this now. But I think if you have a safe word, that's one way to essentially proof of human. Essentially, that's what it would be. Proof of human, proof that you're actually talking to Jor, proof that you're actually talking to, you. So I think that that's a pretty good idea. And I kind of put these in order of ones you should do immediately and ones you can kind of go as you go along here. So join a Bitcoin community would be number 3 here. And I would say that you can join any community, whether it's a free one or a paid one, but I would honestly lean towards a paid one. And the reason for that is because a lot of the free communities out there, whether it's a Telegram group, a Discord group, a free school group, that's ripe for criminals in there. That's literally where they hang out. So I would say that either don't join a community or join a paid one, because otherwise you're going to increase your attack vector here even more. So the reason why I say join a Bitcoin community, because there's always going to be people that you can either ask a question to in terms of like, does this look legitimate to you? Or you're going to be seeing other people post about articles and things that they've seen. So it's going to be more top of mind for you. But it helps having like 50, 100, 200 people that kind of have your back, because Bitcoin can be a very lonely place a lot of times. So it helps having a Bitcoin community, being part of something like that. And I think that it would go a long ways in terms of the social engineering part and trying to detract that from yourself. Number 4 here is increase your physical security. So again, I started this video here with the $5 wrench attack. And that's what most Bitcoiners worry about. That's what is on a lot of people's mind. That's what I help people with every day. I do one-on-one calls with people for setting up a cold card, setting up a multi-sig. We have our 21 sats security and inheritance protocol that we use. So they definitely go hand in hand. It's not one or the other. You shouldn't just be focused on physical security or not being, manipulated and social engineered. They definitely go hand in hand. And the reason is because if your Bitcoin is in a good place, whether it's in a multi-sig with geographically dispersed signing devices or wallets, you should make it hard for, at least for your main stack. So let's say that this is kind of your most people, they might have, after I help them or after we do it with 21 sats, they usually have like 5% on a hot wallet. So something like Aqua, that they have on their phone. Maybe it's even less than 5%. And then maybe another 5 or 10%, we'll go 10 here on like a device at their house, cold card, maybe on hand, just in case they need that. And then the rest of it is all in a multi-sig, geographically dispersed. And the reason why I suggest that is because if it's hard for you to access, then it's going to be very difficult for somebody else to access. And if it's very difficult for you to access, that means you're probably going to have a lot of time to think, hey, is this legitimate or am I getting scammed here? The harder it is for you to access your Bitcoin, the more time you're going to have to think this through. And that's sometimes all you need to do is just kind of take a step back, take a deep breath. And again, these people are experts in setting you in certain emotions and then playing off of that. So it's much easier said than done to be able to take a step back and take a deep breath, because when you have your entire net worth or a good portion of it in Bitcoin and somebody's saying that it's at risk, you're thinking much differently than you would be right now. But if it's difficult for you to access, it's going to be difficult for anybody to access, and even you in a panic mode to access. So this is what I would suggest. Over time here, get yourself into something like this kind of a setup where you have a little bit on hand. And this could also be like 5% on an exchange, something like that you can easily swap into cash or you can sell or whatever you need to do with it. But I would strongly recommend increasing your physical security just to boost your abilities with not getting manipulated, essentially. Number 5 here is keep it top of mind. Keep it top of mind. And I don't really have a great suggestion for this. One thing that you could do that probably sounds kind of crazy, but you could just put somewhere in your office or wherever you spend most of your day, just put like a little Post-it note that says, everyone's going to try and steal your Bitcoin. People are trying to steal your Bitcoin. Someone is going to try and steal your Bitcoin. And if you can kind of look at that every day, it's going to be top of mind. And so then when you get a phone call or an email or a direct message or something along those lines, you're already kind of programmed yourself to be ready for that. So keep it top of mind, whatever that looks like to you. I like the idea of having like a post-it note that you look at every day, because then it is really going to be at the top of your mind. And this stuff is always going to be, you're kind of going to be in that prepared mode versus panic and unexpected mode. So that's what I would say. I really believe that the social engineering attacks are going to ramp up. It's going to get much worse than it is today. It's going to get harder and harder to differentiate between real and fake. And keep in mind here, if Bitcoin turns out like we expect it to, everybody's going to be trying to get your Bitcoin, and it's much easier for them to do from their house versus going to your house. So that's what I got for you today. I started the show with a little iced coffee here, a little bit of Bailey's in it, because why not? We only get so many Thursdays here, right? And I actually spilled some of it on my, I think I did on Kathy's face there. I got a little bit of a stain. So if you do have any questions about security, whether it's physical stuff or social engineering, whatever it is, having a solid plan in place is definitely a good idea. Again, I do these one-on-one calls every day with people in all parts of the world, helping them get their security in a better place, managing their private keys more effectively. And with the 21 sats, we do inheritance stuff too. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. My email is 88sats@proton.me. And that's it. I'd be happy to chat with you. And I offer value for value calls too. So you don't have to pay a bunch up front. We can have the chat. You can send me whatever is worth to you. And hopefully you'll be sleeping better at night. So we also actually have a new Bitcoin Citadel community too on School. I'm going to put the link in the comments here. And it has a bunch of resources. There's a bunch of educators and Bitcoiners in there, mostly focused around Bitcoin security. So I think if you're worried about this stuff, if you want to learn more, I think that would be the perfect place for you. So I'll put that in the pinned comments below. So I hope you're having a great day today. Cheers to you. And take this stuff seriously, because you get one shot at Bitcoin. One shot. So we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.